Good morning, everybody out there in Mr. Arnold's class world, and welcome again to another chapter of Mr. Arnold's Great Isolation Adventure. I do believe we are now on to Chapter 8. Last chapter we talked about motivation, we talked about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and today I thought we would talk about setbacks. And the title for today's talk and today's adventure is a setback or is it an opportunity? So if you have to take a step backwards, is that actually a step backwards, or is that just simply a step in another direction? So a few things you might notice about today is I have chosen to sit outside, and I've also chosen to use a better quality camera this time around, because last time things were a little choppy. I was using a camera that was about a decade old or so. I like to recycle technology instead of tossing it out, because I think that you can use it well past the time that it's obsolete. You'll also notice that today I have put on the Monday bow tie, and it is not in fact a Monday, it is a Wednesday, but I figured Wednesday, new beginnings, and talking about setbacks, but when there is a setback, going through the motions of what I've done and the strategies that have worked for me in the past. So I thought, get up, get dressed today, even though I have a bit of a headache. My neck is a bit sore, which it hasn't been sore for quite a few days. But I did go through some stress yesterday, which tends to cause some of the concussion symptoms to come back, and you carry a lot of stress in your neck. I was also on the computer a lot yesterday, so that would answer another question of why I have some headache symptoms today. Alrighty. So where this came from is, one, the headache symptoms and the concussion symptoms have come back a bit today, so I saw that as a bit of a setback. But yesterday, one of my kids got sick, and I had to think during this time that perhaps it could be something more. So it was also an opportunity for me to set some new priorities for that day. So the priority that day was giving as much of my attention as I possibly could toward my sick son. And during the situation that we're in this isolation, you have some more time to spend on things that you didn't have time to do before, especially with the new announcement about the postponement of the school year until next school year. So that changes things greatly. But it also can be an opportunity. It's not necessarily a setback. But I am going to talk a bit about that today as well, and how we can use this as a change in direction, possibly, for schooling, which I got a great idea yesterday from a student in one of my classes about how we can alter those classes to change the face of them and have classes meet a different need now, as opposed to more of an academic need, quite possibly more of that socialization need and discussion. We can have discussions each day and loop that back to learning. All this for me came from watching one of my favorite movies of all time, which I just went ahead and bought online. I bought it on the Apple Store, which is The Martian, starring Matt Damon. And a couple of the quotes in there that really stick with me. One is, if there's a problem or a setback, you can't sit on that setback for too long, because it doesn't allow you to move in that other direction. So you just get to work. You get to work and you solve one little problem at a time. And if you solve enough of those problems, then you'll start to experience success. And that success will lead possibly in another direction, or a direction that you weren't heading in before. So step one is to identify whatever's going on. Identify the setback, identify the challenge, identify the problem. So with the sick family member, I realized that I had the time to go ahead and deal with that. So I just made some time to spend with my son yesterday and really be there for him. And I can totally do that right now, because I don't have those constant demands of being at a workplace. The second is noticing that my other kid, and both of my kids, were starting to have some behaviors, which to me, it just seemed like they needed a bit more attention. And again, we can give people in our lives a bit more attention because we have the time to do that right now. So what I've done is I've set aside 3 hours in the day to spend with the kids, either doing work, so an hour of work, and then we have an hour where we have lunch together, we sit down, we talk about what we're going to do, and then we have another hour of physical activity. And in this case, this physical activity that I've started with my daughter has been going for walks. So we went downtown, we got some food at the butcher, we came home, we cooked together, and I also have started to buy some books. So this is the Lost Art of Reading Nature's Signs, which is a bit of advance for her, but it's something I can do, and I can learn a bit, make some notes on, so we can go out and discover some things in nature. So identifying the issue and looking for some sort of solution. Sometimes those solutions won't work, but we have some time to try something different. So the last part is identifying what the issue is right now with schooling. And I've noticed that students are losing motivation. They're losing reasons to actually be online and do the work, especially since marks officially can't change from March 13th, but they can go up. That is not enough motivation for some students out there. So there's still a socialization need that possibly needs to be filled. So the strategy that we're going to use is collaboration or discussion. And we can collaborate on the topic that we are going to talk about for that day. We can collaborate on what time is best for everyone to meet, or as many people as we can get online at a time. And the tool that we can use for this, which has just been approved by the Upper Grand District School Board, is something called Google Meet. Google Meet. And we can have something called synchronous education. And we can meet online and have those discussions online, which is great. But what I need from you folks out there as my students is I need you to email me, or get your parents to email me, sorry. So I need you to get your parents to email me and let me know that they are giving their permission for you to be online on Google Meet using that platform to collaborate and to learn together. Great. So as a review, we talked about setbacks. And are they setbacks, or are they an opportunity for something else? We also talked about a step backwards. And that step backwards can, in fact, be an opportunity to change direction. So instead of driving forwards all the time, it forces us to stop, reevaluate, look for or identify what is causing us to take that step backward. Think about some strategies to move, not necessarily forward, but perhaps a different way, to open a different door. Great. If you have any comments, please put them down below in the comments section. I would love to see that. I would love to hear about a setback for you and how you identified that setback and what kind of strategies you used to move forward from that. Great. Looking forward to hearing from all of you. I hope the quality of the video was better today. And I love the fact that we're getting some outdoor noises today. We're getting a dog barking in the background. We got some birds chirping. Even tell me if you stepped outside today and what you saw and how that helped you possibly move a different direction. Great. Thanks again. I'll talk to you all soon.